Most people think the reason why their message is not landing is because their audience is not getting it, or that they're speaking to the wrong audience. And while that could be true, the reality is that more often than not, the reason why the message is not sticking is because it's too generic, it's too long, too safe, and too boring. And so, how do you fix that? Well, in today's episode, I want to give you 3 mistakes we all make that keep our message very generic and how you can fix yours. All of that and more coming right up. Welcome to Speak Like It Matters. My name is Sheila Muskan and I am your host, also your go-to speaking strategist if you want to learn how to speak with clarity, confidence, and credibility. I am really passionate about helping mission-driven leaders know how to own their voice boldly and craft messages that move people. Before we dive right in, a quick reminder, we have a workshop coming up this month, the month of August, and it's all about how to craft sticky messages. If you are someone that needs to do a lot of presentations, perhaps deliver keynotes or talks, talk in front of a group of people, conduct meetings, you have to do webinars, or you have a podcast, or perhaps you just need to do videos for social media, this workshop is definitely for you. In this workshop, I will give you the formula you need to make your message unforgettable and really stick with people. We open early bird registration next week, Wednesday. And if you want to be on that list, all you have to do is visit speaklikeitmatters.com/workshop. Okay, so let's get right to it. What are the 3 mistakes so many of us make when it comes to creating sticky messages? Well, the number one mistake that we make is that we explain too much and evoke very little. Now, what do I mean by that? We use a lot of perhaps big fancy words, buzzwords, too many words. The reality is that more often than not, our message doesn't need more words. It needs less, but it needs better words. And those words need to evoke some sort of an emotion. You are drowning people in details instead of drawing them in emotionally. Why is it that stories, real good stories, work? Well, because they evoke some sort of an emotion. They make us feel something. Why do songs stick with us? Because again, they evoke some sort of an emotion. So you don't want to start with logic. You want to start with a story. You want to start in a moment. You want to start with a bold statement, something that evokes some sort of a reaction and emotion in people. So here's an example. Instead of saying something like, our team developed a framework that has 3 phrases. Okay, what does that mean? Instead, you could start with a story and just say, let me tell you about a leader that we worked with who almost quit, not because she didn't have the skills, but because she had 0 support. Now, that's something that is easy to understand. And it's also easy to relate to because we've perhaps all been there. So hook the heart first and then give the brain something to chew on. Okay. The second mistake we make is we're organizing our talk by topic versus building tension. And going back to stories again, why do they work? Because a story arc usually has a climax, right? There's a tension that builds. And that tension is the thing that keeps people on the edge of their seat. That's what makes us lean in and want to learn more or find out what is going to happen. Well, you need to have that in your presentation and in your message as well. So stop outlining your paper as though you are creating a presentation for school, like you're writing a school paper, right? Instead, think, how can I build tension? People will not remember your different categories and all the data and the statistics, but they will remember conflict. So instead of saying, let's cover mindset and messaging and marketing, try first, here's why your current message isn't landing, just like I did it at the beginning of this episode. Then you must shift. This is what you must do in order to get a different result. And then how to say what you actually mean, right? That's the solution. So think in problems and not PowerPoint slides. The third mistake that we make often that makes our message very generic and doesn't stick is that you're talking like a professional and not like an actual person. More importantly, you're maybe talking or sounding like a machine, like an AI or a chat GPT, right? Because so many of us have nowadays our presentations or messages written by AI would never actually take the time to make it sound like us, right? And so we use fancy words and we use big words, but don't really connect. We don't really build trust. And when you are an effective communicator, you're very good at connecting. Why? Because you actually sound like a real person. If it sounds like a press release, your audience is already checked out. If it sounds like something you're reading off of a prompter, people are going to have a hard time to connect with you. So here's an example. Instead of saying we leverage strategic frameworks to scale impact, what does that mean? Right? Instead of that, we can say something like we help people work better together, not just faster, but smarter. Simple words, short sentence, easy to understand, sounds like a human being. So say it like you would say it to your best friend or someone you feel comfortable with. Now, hear me on this. When I say it in a way that you say it to your friend, that doesn't give you the permission to say it sloppy or not to be on point with your communication, because I do believe that we should all reach for our next level of communication. But say it like you, because in this world of so many generic messages, what makes your message stick more than anything is your perspective, is your personality, it's your stories, it's the experiences you have gone through and the conclusions you have drawn through those experiences and you're sharing with the audience. Excuse me. So what makes your message unique is actually you. But what we end up doing is we strip us out of the message, and then we wonder why it sounds generic. So make sure that you don't sound like a machine, but you actually sound like a person. So if your message isn't sticking, check these 3 things. Ask yourself, are you leading with emotion or burying it with logic from the get-go? The second question you should ask yourself, are you building tension or are you just stacking one topic on top of the other just because it makes sense? And the third question you should ask yourself, are you speaking like a human or are you hiding behind big words and jargon and buzzwords? Pick one message, an email or a meeting or a talk that you just have given, or perhaps a podcast episode that you just recorded not long ago, and tweak it using just one simple step that I have given you. Small change makes a big difference. Okay, friend, I trust that you found that helpful. If you did, make sure you subscribe and also share this episode with a friend or a colleague. And if you want to really learn more about how to craft sticky messages, I want to invite you again to check out our next workshop that's happening in a couple of weeks. It's called Craft a Message That Sticks. You can register now and get on the wait list at speaklikeitmatters.com/workshop. And I'll walk you through the exact framework and formula that's going to help you to create messages that really stand out. Okay, friend, that's it for today. If this helped, give it a like, subscribe for more straight shooting strategies, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this. And remember, your voice, story, and message are needed. So speak like it matters. Okay, friend, bye for now.